Cristo es la verdad, el camino y la vida. Ahora reproduce la declaración de la palabra de Dios Todopoderoso, Cristo de los últimos días.
God's utterances to the entire universe. The fifth utterance. When my spirit gives voice, it expresses the whole of my disposition. Are you clear on this? To be unclear on this point would be tantamount to opposing me directly. Have you truly seen the importance that lies herein? Do you really know how much effort, how much energy I expend on you? Do you really dare to lay bare what you have done before me? And you have the nerve to call yourselves my people to my face. You have no sense of shame, still less any reason. Sooner or later, people like this will be expelled from my house. Don't you come the old soldier with me, thinking that you have stood for my testimony. Is this something that human is capable of doing? If nothing remained of your intentions and your goals, you would long since have struck out on a different path. Do you think I don't know how much the human heart can hold? From this time forth, in all things, you must enter into the reality of practice. Merely flapping your gums as you used to do will no longer get you by. In the past, most of you managed to sponge under my roof. The fact that you are able to stand firm today is entirely due to the severity of my words. Do you think that my words are randomly spoken without an object? Impossible. I look down upon all things from on high and exercise dominion over all things from on high. In the same way, I have sent forth my salvation over the earth. There is never a moment when I am not watching, from my secret place, humanity's every move, everything they say and do. Humanity is to me an open book. I see and know them one and all. The secret place is my abode, and the empyrean the bed on which I lie. Satan's forces cannot reach unto me, for I am overflowing with majesty, righteousness, and judgment. An ineffable mystery resides in my words. When I am speaking, you become like fowls that have just been cast into water, overwhelmed with confusion, or babies who have just had a fright, seeming to know nothing, because your spirit has fallen into a state of stupefaction. Why do I say that the secret place is my abode? Do you know the deeper meaning of what I say? Who in all humanity is capable of knowing me? Who among you is capable of knowing me as you know your own father and mother? Resting in my abode, I observe closely. All the people on earth bustle about, traveling around the world and rushing back and forth, all for the sake of their destiny, their future. But not a single one has energy to spare for building my kingdom, not even so much as the strength one might use in drawing breath. I created the human race, and I have rescued them many times from tribulation. But these humans are all ingrates. Not a single one among them is able to enumerate all the instances of my salvation. How many years, how many centuries has it been from the creation of the world down to the present day? And how many miracles have I worked? How many times made manifest my wisdom? But man, like a lunatic afflicted with dementia and torpor, or even worse, sometimes like a wild beast flailing about in the forest, has not the slightest intention of paying heed to my affairs. Many times I have given man the death sentence and condemned him to die, but the plan of my management cannot be altered by anyone. And so man is, still in my hands, strutting the old things he clings to. Because of the steps of my work, I have, once again, rescued you, you beings born into the corrupt, decadent, filthy, and sordid big family. The work I have planned keeps pressing forward without a moment's surcease. Having moved into the age of kingdom, and having carried you into my kingdom as my people, I will have other demands to make of you. That is to say, I will begin to promulgate before you the constitution with which I will govern this era. Since you are called my people, you should be able to glorify my name. That is, stand testimony in the midst of trial. If anyone attempts to deceive me and conceal the truth from me, or engage in disreputable dealings behind my back, they will, without exception, be chased out, removed from my house to await summary action. Those who have been unfaithful and disobedient to me in the past, and today rise up again to judge me openly, they too will be chased out from my house. Those who are my people must constantly care for my burdens, as well as seek to know my words. Only people like this will I enlighten, and they will surely live under the guidance of my enlightenment, never meeting with chastisement. Those who, failing to care for my burdens, concentrate on planning for their own futures. That is, those who do not aim with their doings to satisfy my heart, but rather to cadge a handout. These beggar-like creatures I absolutely refuse to use, because from the time they were born, they know nothing of what it means to care for my burdens. They are people with abnormal sense. People like this are suffering from malnutrition of the brain and need to go home for some nourishment. I have no use for people of this kind. Among my people, everyone will be required to regard knowing me as an obligatory duty to be fulfilled to the end, like eating, dressing, and sleeping, something that one never forgets about for a moment, so that in the end, knowing me will become a familiar skill, like eating, something you do effortlessly, with a practiced hand. As for the words I speak, every single one must be taken with the utmost certainty and fully assimilated. There can be no perfunctory half measures. Anyone who does not pay attention to my words will be regarded as directly opposing me. Anyone who does not eat my words or does not seek to know them will be regarded as not giving me attention and will directly be swept out the door of my house. For, as I have said in the past, what I desire is not a great many people, but a select few. Out of 100 people, if only one is able to know me through my words, then I would willingly throw away all the others to focus on enlightening and illuminating this single one. From this you can see it is not necessarily true that greater numbers alone can manifest me, live out me. What I want is wheat, even though the kernels may not be full, and not tares, even when the kernels are full enough to call for admiration. As for those who give no regard to seeking, but instead behave in a slack manner, they should leave of their own accord. I don't wish to see them anymore, lest they go on bringing disgrace to my name. On what I require of my people, I will stop at these precepts for now, and will wait to make further sanctions depending on how circumstances change. In days past, the great majority of people thought I was the God himself of wisdom, that I was the very God who saw deep into the hearts of men. But it was all superficial talk. If man had truly known me, he would not have presumed to leap to conclusions, but would have kept on trying to know me through my words. Only when he had arrived at a stage where he truly saw my deeds would he have been worthy to say that I was wise, that I was wonderful. Your knowledge of me is too shallow. Throughout the ages, how many people have served me for how many years, and, having seen my deeds, really came to know something of me, and so they always had a submissive heart toward me, not daring to harbor the least intention of opposing me, because how difficult it is to seek out my footprints. Among these people were those who, absent my guidance, dared not act rashly, and so, after living through many years' experience, they eventually generalized a portion of knowledge about me, saying that I am wise, wonderful, and counselor, that my words are like a double-edged sword, that my deeds are great, astounding, and wondrous, that I am robed in majesty, that my wisdom reaches higher than the firmament, and other insights. But today, you are only knowing me on the foundation they have laid. So the great majority of you, like parrots, are just mouthing the words that they have spoken. It is only because I take into account how shallow is the way in which you know me, and how poor your education is, that I have spared you so much chastisement. But even so, the great majority of you still do not know yourselves, or think you have already reached my will in your deeds, and for this reason have escaped judgment. Or you think that, after becoming flesh, I have completely lost track of man's doings, and for this reason you have also escaped chastisement. Or you think that the God you believe in does not exist in the wide spaces of the universe, and so you have relegated knowing God to a chore to be done in your spare time, rather than holding it in your hearts as a duty that must be fulfilled, using belief in God as a way of beguiling the time that otherwise would be spent in idleness. If I did not take pity on your lack of qualifications, reason, and insights, then all of you would perish in the midst of my chastisement, wiped out from existence. But until my work on earth is finished, I will remain lenient to mankind. This is something you must all know. Stop getting good and bad muddled up. February 25th, 1992. And you have the nerve to call yourselves my people to my face. You have no sense of shame, still less any reason. Sooner or later, people like this will be expelled from my house. Don't you come, the old soldier, with me, thinking that you have stood for my testimony. To be unclear on this point would be tantamount to opposing me directly. Have you truly seen the importance that lies herein? Do you really know how much effort, how much energy I expend on you? Do you really dare to lay bare what you have done before me? Is this something that human is capable of doing? If nothing remained of your intentions and your goals, you would long since have struck out on a different path. Do you think I don't know how much the human heart can hold? From this time forth, in all things, you must.
Cristo es la verdad, el camino y la vida. Ahora reproduce la declaración de la palabra de Dios Todopoderoso, Cristo de los últimos días.
God's utterances to the entire universe. The fifth utterance. When my spirit gives voice, it expresses the whole of my disposition. Are you clear on this?